Hey guys, we got another wonderful installment. We have another TechNitwit media video for you guys, and we are bringing you a TG01 upgrade. Sorry, not 001, it's TG01 upgrade. My butt sometimes cannot talk. Brain's constantly turning and things are just spitting out of my mouth. Sometimes if you heard some of the stuff that came out of my mouth, you'd be like, TechNitwit, you are cray-cray. Anyways, let me get into this video, guys. And we have some stuff we're going to be putting here. We're going to be putting a 2060 Super with 16 gigs of RAM, originally from the 8 gigs that's in this bad mamma jamma, and a 1 terabyte SSD. It is going to make this thing a bad mamma jamma when it comes to gaming. So I want to talk about something real quick and dirty, is this 400 watt power supply. Some of these PCs come with 310 watt power supplies. Just be aware that you cannot put a graphics card in like we are doing if you don't have one of these. You can order one of these from HP. They are under $100. I will have the link for this in the description and the part number. You're going to have to manually do it if you go to the HP site, but I'm not going to get into that. All right, guys, I ran a benchmark already, and we ran 3D Mark Firestrike, and we got 11,706. It averaged a good 111 FPS, so it did a really good job. But other than that, guys, we are going to get right into this, and we are going to get into this upgrade video. Hey guys, we are going to jump right into this upgrade. So I'm going to go right ahead and grab a Phillips screwdriver. And the first thing you're going to have to do is flip your bad mamma jamma around, and there's one screw right here. It is a T5 Torx head, or you can use a flathead, whichever you prefer. But so go ahead and get your T5 Torx head and back that bad mamma jamma off. Now in this case, you grab right here. So I'm going to show you how to take this off. You pull back, and then it comes out. So it's back and out, and this is off. And then we are into her like sin. Of course, don't tell your mom you've done that, because you might get in some trouble. Just kidding. All right, so first screw you're going to take apart's right here. And then you're going to have to do something a little bit strange. But you come to the front of this case, and you grab these little tabs right here. Let me show you guys right here. These little tabby tabs. And you work your way all the way up. So it's these tabs, and they come off, and then this swings open like a door. And now I'm gonna actually show you guys something, but it's right here. If I can get a good view, but it's right here, and I want to unplug this, so I can get this out of my way. So now I can take this whole thing and just put it off to the side. Now it's up and out of my way. And then there's a T5 Torx head right here. Turn this guys towards you. It's right here. And this will allow the cage free. And put that off to the side. So now our cage is free. Turn it towards you, and this kind of snaps in right here. So you got to kind of snap like that. I mean, it's going to make me look stupid. Come on, little guy. Yeah, always got to fight me. Always got to fight me. So you got to kind of put some pressure right here to pull, and this will come apart, and then it snaps up and down. So let you guys see that with the GoPro. I'm going to snap this back in here. And it snaps on this side. So this snaps together right in here. If I could try to show you guys this. So it snaps together right there and right here. And it's down in, and actually, so you're going to kind of put some pressure up here on this guy, and then you kind of put some pressure on this guy, and eventually it'll come off if I'm not bending the car. Now it's going to make a lighter out of me. So you got to pull out like this. There's a little nub right here, I think. Yeah, little nub right there. So you hold on to here and you kind of bend that out, and this is out, and it swings like a door. So right here it's got little tabs, and it just comes right out. So it's got 3 little tabs right here. I'll let you guys see that on the above. 3 little tabs, and that's it. And she's out like sin. But we want to keep this guy because we're going to use it for our SSD. And then we can leave this top tray. Oh, you could put an SSD in this top tray too, but I'd leave this top tray for a spinny spinner. And this comes out just like the other one. You got to lift up and then out, and it's got tabs that are kind of bent. So you can't leave it like that, otherwise it won't unslot. So you gotta lift it up and then out, and then this comes out. The cage feels like you're gonna break it when you're taking it apart. So just be kind of gentle with it, but you gotta give it a little bit of force. If you feel like you're bending stuff, stop. You know, right in this area, you gotta kind of pull. It kind of catches, I mean, that's fine. So let's put that off to the side. And now we are in like sin. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some wires out of my way here. And we don't have any cables in here because our guy is running off an NvMe, which is right here. This is our NvMe. You can upgrade this and replace it if you like. It's really up to you. But yeah, so let's see right here. I just don't want to mess stuff up. So right there, and then we do have this cable right here, which is going to go to our SATA drive. Sorry, it's going to go to our SSD drive. And our power for our drive is right here. And this is all already in the case. You don't have to go out and buy a splitter. This supports 2 drives out of the box. Now, if you want to put 2 drives in here, you are going to need another SATA cable, which they're, you know, $5–10 on Amazon. But give me a second, and I will. We're going to start with the RAM here. So real quick, come and pull this other stick of RAM out of here, this 8 gig, and I'm using a 16 gigabit kit from OL. I'm using XPG. OL was the PC build, and get this guy up and out of our way. Put that over there. Everything is pretty good to go. So the thing with RAM is there's a tall side and then there's a short side. Tall side's going to always go up towards the top. So when you're slotting it in, put it in like that. So we're going to put our first stick in, and you're going to have to firmly press this in. If it rocks back and forth, that means you have it in the wrong way. If it feels like it's teeter-tottering, it's in the wrong way. So we'll look at this, and this is the short side, and this is the long side. So we're going to flip this bad mamma jamma around, and we're going to make sure our little clips are open. If you don't have these little white clips in here actually open, you won't be able to slot your RAM in. And then we're going to come in here and make sure it's lined up on both. And then we're going to take our fingers out towards the edges, and we're going to hear, and I heard a click. Oh, it tricked me. Usually you hear click, click, but I did enough even constant pressure. It was one giant click. And that is the RAM installed. So guys, that's what the RAM looks like installed up close and personal. Give you kind of a fly-by-night here. And if you got a GoPro like this, you can actually take it down in there and look to make sure it's seated. I'm not worried about it. I probably put in 100, maybe 200 sticks of RAM. Probably more than that, but I just being modest. And that's where that's at. So now we're going to do our GPU upgrade. And this is going to be pretty simple. We're going to have to take a screw out in the back. So we have to take this T5 Torx head off right here. So let me come right here. And you're going to take this guy out. And of course, I'm using an iFixit magnetic bit system. This thing is awesome. I used to think all the other YouTubers that were, trying to talk this thing up was a bunch of crap, but hands down the best kit for working on your cell phone, working on small electronics, working on a laptop or your PC. So that's a free plug from TechNet with iFixit. So right there, and our GPU is free like sin itself. And there we go. Let's unplug our you know what? Let me snap this back in and snap this guy in there, and let's get our power plug unplugged because it feels like it's really in there. She is stuck. Holy crap. There we go. So if you notice, this is an 8-pin, and this slots together like that. And you can either do an 8-pin PCI-e or 6-pin PCI-e. If you got an adapter, because you got a card that has 2 power ports, you might have to use this, but it just depends on the GPU you're using. Move this cable out of the way. So make sure this is unsnapped. There is a little tabby way down here in the yonder that you got to lift up. Can't really see it, but it's right there. That's got to be lifted up while you lift the GPU up. So this little tab right here, and so you're pretty much going to grasp your graphics card. I'm kind of doing this in an awkward position so you guys can see what I'm doing. Lift up on this, and then it's actually stuck on here, so I'm going to put a little bit of pressure and actually get it off right there, and then lift this up and put, jiggle back and forth until it comes out. And then there is our RX 5500. The beautiful, beautiful beast she is. That's what it looks like. So, Now we're going to go in and put our 2060 Super, our big black bad Mama Jamma. She is the sexiest black thing on this planet. I really, really love her. She's just so sexy and sleek, and I go to sleep with her at night because she's just so pretty. All right, guys, so we're going to Jumanji the living fudgesicles out of this. You got to go in on an angle like this, kind of forward, and make sure all your cables and stuff are clear and out of present danger. So as you can see, these cables are kind of up and in the way. You know, just situate them so they're all up and out of the way. You'll need that power later. Kind of stick that underneath the power supply, and that is out of our way. And then we're going to come here and Jumanji. In this case, it actually feels like it's got more room than the 690 because I can put it in here just like that and slot it in, and it snaps in. You're going to kind of push forward. So you're going to get your hand in the back of the case. Get your hand in the back of the case, like up here, and you're going to push on the graphics card and try to get it to snap in to this this frickin' thing. There we go, it's in. And then you can close this door, and that'll hold it. All right, guys, so that's the GPU installed. I am going to put the Torx head back in the rear. So I'll go ahead and insert here and screw in. She really does like it when you twist and turn. All right, guys, so that's the GPU installed. Now we got to plug her in, make her run with some pixies. And just remember that this knob right here is going to go towards the top on this graphics card. On the graphics card we took out, it was the opposite. So we're going to keep these pins together, and we are going to come up here. Let me so you can get all these pins together and make sure it's up towards the top. And I always like to go on a little bit of an angle, and then hold the back of the graphics card when you're doing this because it is kind of putting a lot of pressure on it. And then make sure you get both of them in, and you're in like sin, and it feels wonderful because this graphics card is going to make it rip. Can't wait to show you guys this. So this cable is going to stick out and probably hit the cage, so we do got to be careful with that. They do make angle brackets, and give me a second and I'm going to show you one of them because they are awesome. So they have angle brackets in 2 different directions. You can get 6-pin, you can get 8-pin. They have all different types of them. And this is what the angle bracket looks like. It's pretty nifty. It's going to take that and move this cable up and out of the way. So I'm going to undo what I just did, and I'm going to put one of these angle brackets on here. But first, it's much easier if you put this power on it first. At least I like it with the power first. So then we're going to come here and just slot this guy in. And this is really for cases that are really, really tight inside. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it comes in, and it just slots in, and you jiggle back and forth, jiggle back and forth. Might have to keep your hand on the back of the power supply, and it's in. And that makes this to where that cable is now not hitting the door right here. So, I mean, it's not necessary. You can jiggle that cage back in, but this is a $12 item that is gonna make your life so much simpler. I keep like a stack of them around because I don't ever want to have a graphics card that doesn't fit. And then you look kind of goofy making a video when the graphics card's like, oh, the tray won't go back on. We wish we did take out, George. So, all right, guys. That, as you can see, this hasn't been a very long video. It's, you know, a 5-10 minute thing. You can do this yourself. A capable person, Ticknit, you're a moron. So just be aware that the threads in here are not the same as the 6x32s that normal PCs go with, or if you were to use one for the hard drive, the 3.5 hard drive, it is not the same as these 2.5s. It is a tighter, closer in thread. I'll probably put an image up here of the difference in thread pitch, but one is like a wider thread and the other one's a real tight thread. So I just got 3, usually you only need about 2, but we're gonna come here and grab our case, and we're gonna put our SATA wire back in. That goes to this blue port right here, which it says SATA 0. Hopefully you can use it for a hard drive because it'd be nice to be able to put 3 drives in here, but I guess we're gonna find out, y'all. And why the hell won't you fit in your damn hole? Go in the hole. Thank you. Have a nice day. Come again. So we're not going to put the drive in this cage. We're going to put this off to the side still, but we are going to put it on this cage. All right, guys, we're going to get right into this. We are going to grab our bottom piece, and we are going to take our SSD, and we want to make sure this is facing right, so it goes in there like that. And we want these ports on the SSD facing that way. So if you take it and you flip it down, you want them facing out that way. It is going to kind of not sit on there evenly, and then we're going to want to line these two holes up with our wonderful screws. And there we go. So grab our two Phillips screws, and we are going to screw her good. Don't want to do it too tight though, because it might hurt. Just wants to fight me. All right. Come on, go in your hole. You know you want to. There we go. All right, so we'll get our two screws in here. That's all you guys need. You don't got to Superman these down. God, that reminds me of an Eminem song, and I was just about to sing it, but I think I'd get myself unmonetized if I did that. Go ahead and get that in there. Get it to where it's snug, and then back it off a little bit. Snug, and then back it off a little bit. All right, guys, set this off to the side, and we have to get this cage in here first. And we're going to go ahead and grab this silver cage. And before we do that, I want to show you, I forgot to put these behind the GPU, which is fine, but we're going to have to tuck these guys up and under here. We're going to get this up and behind here, and that's our first cable. Kind of jury it around, let it come back there, and then now we got to get our power in here. So get your two ends down first. Jiggle it around. And there you go. So now our two cables are down here. Kind of set them so they're tucked on this power supply. Otherwise, when you have the two cages in, it's going to be really hard to grab these. They are going to be taut. So just be aware they are going to be taut in there. So we're going to go ahead and stick our cage back in. And we're going to switch to our T5 Torx bit. We no longer need our Phillips, so you can put that away. And I'm going to spin her like she's on a roller coaster. And tighten that one on down. Come back here, spin back, and it's like we're in a Zumba class. Yay! Anyways, I'll shut up. I'm kind of corny. Let's get our drive in there, snap in. We will, actually, you know what? Let's make sure our cables are right here. We're going to get our drive in there. So it's kind of like a Jumanji puzzle. And I'm just doing this. This is not the proper way to do this. Technically, you're supposed to put the SSD up here, and I am doing this because if you want to put another SSD in, there's still another SATA slot open. So why not? And you can also get a power splitter that'll come off of this guy and come back up. You're definitely going to need to do it if you put a drive in here like how I'm doing it, because this cable is tight. Oh, I'm such a dork. And yeah, let me get you guys a good view of that, of what I am doing. Of course. And that's why you don't want to put that screw back there to hold that. So let's get our first cable in, which is our power, because that's the one that is nice and tight. You're going to have to kind of go on an angle and pull the drive up. And there we go. And then do the same thing right here. Get our SSD cable in, and if it lets me, come on, buddy. There you go. And there's our SSD installed. So now we're going to put our last T5 Torx head in. And that is the upgrade done, guys. I mean, it is that simple. So, I mean, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of your life, and it's done. And you got a rockin' gaming PC that is going to smoke the crap out of some games. I did forget one thing. Forgot to put our front back on and our side panel. Of course, I'm not going to show you putting the side panel on. I will put the front back on for you guys, but other than that, it's done. So come back around here. We still got to connect the LED right here, which is right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So go ahead and get your front panel. And this one is kind of a difficult one because you have to get it to where it slots into here. But if you see how these are angled, they actually angle that so it is like that. So it can come in like this. So you're actually turning in. And, you know, HP kind of did think of this when they made it. But you still got to be careful that you don't catch it on these guys, you know, because you can get these pins actually stuck in here. So when you're coming in, you want to line this guy up. And first off, you want to make sure this wire is in here, because you don't want it to, it'll get caught on this. And then let me see if I can show you down below here. This going in. So you got to kind of keep it in, and it's like a door. It's like a really hard spot. And then you see right here on these ports, you want to make sure that they're not getting crunched, especially the USB-C. If you look at that USB-C right there, see how that is not coming in. So we got to come back here, pull this back out, and actually you're kind of pushing. I am taking this and I'm pushing to the right, and now I'm snapping in. And that's going to keep that so you don't crunch your USB-C ports or any of that stuff. So now if you look, all our ports look nice and good. Go ahead and get your side panel on, and you'll be done. And meet me back for the results with the benchmark. See you in a little bit. All right, guys, so after you get everything hooked up and ready, we are going to go right into this. Windows is going to say, hey, dude, I'm installing some generic drivers that suck really bad. I wouldn't rely on those. Definitely go to NVIDIA and get the proper drivers, because, you know, Windows thinks they knows it all, and it's like a jack of all trades. It does nothing good. So we are going to get right into this crap, and we are going to get some darn drivers that work good with our darn PC. And yeah, so open up your browser and go ahead and open up your favorite cup of tea, and we're going to type in NVIDIA drivers, and that's going to take us right to the NVIDIA page. And there we go. So it's going to say we have a Titan. We don't have a Titan. We have a GeForce. If we had a Titan, I probably wouldn't be making this video. I'd be playing video games. But anyways, we got a GeForce and we got a GeForce 20 series. And I don't have a 20 Ti. That would be nicer than the 2060 Super I do have. And I wish I had a 2080 Ti. But, you know, wishes are wishes. They're only wishes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the 2060 Super, and everything else in this darn boxes are correct. And I'm happy with what I see. So if you want to copy and paste, go right ahead. I'm just going to tell you. I'm just joking. It's Windows 10, 64-bit, and gamer-ready drivers. English. Unless you speak a different language and you're trying to decipher my video under a rock, go right ahead. You know, have fun at it. But go ahead and search, guys. And we're going to hit download. And download again, because the first download wasn't enough. It had to ask us again if we wanted to download it. I mean, come on now, right? Like NVIDIA. I just can't make my mind up. I got to hit that button a second time to make sure I am wholeheartedly, like, going to download my damn drivers. No, how about just work the first darn time? But anyways, once it's downloaded, we're going to do some time lapse here, and you guys are going to enjoy it. It's going to go to a black screen. You're not going to see the end of the drivers because this thing is driving me nuts. I'm trying to run OBS, and it keeps crashing on me. So you're seeing Tech Nitwit going kind of cuckoo Cocoa Puffs. And we are going to get this rolling, guys. So go ahead and hit OK. At least it doesn't ask us OK twice. Like, are you sure? You're sure? You really sure that you want to install these drivers? No, but I mean, like, are you really sure? Got it. All right, guys, so we'll go to some time lapsing and enjoy. Alright guys, so that is the drivers installed. Hopefully OBS is still recording. If it's not, it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do this with stick figures in a little box and show you how to install these damn things, because this thing just does not want to work for me tonight. But hey, if you get the point and you know how to do it, it really doesn't matter. So we're going to try to run this darn benchmark. All right, guys, we're going to do a wonderful benchmark to do a before and after in this wonderful upgrade. We put a 2060 Super with 16 gigs of RAM. We had 8 gigs of RAM previously in an RX 5500. So we're going to see what we had from before and from now. We had 11,534 as a previous score. And yeah, we're going to get this benchmark going. I am going to time lapse it. So let's get this bad mamma jamma smoking and rolling. I'll be right back with you at the end, and we will do some comparison and, you know, a little chit chat and talk about what we just did, and then that'll be the video. So our FPX max on both cards was about the same. The RX 5500 had 106 and the upgraded card was 105. Our average FPS though had a big difference. It's an 84 on our 2060 Super versus 53 on the other card. Of course, that's what you're going to gain with a nicer card like that. Our score was on our our stock TG was 11,534, and 14,500 is 502 is the upgraded one, of course. It did use more RAM, which was very surprising. And the other thing that surprised me is with the 16 gigs of RAM and the 2060 Super, I had 100% CPU usage with the AMD, where the RX 5500, I only had 94% CPU usage across the board. So yeah, it's actually using the full amount of the CPU. I think the RX 5500 was bottlenecking their own Ryzen a little bit. Our GPU temperature was 72 versus the RX 5500 was running cooler at 63. And yeah, I will have all the links for these benchmarks down in the description below. So if you want to check your own math or check my math, go right ahead. So guys, this was a TechNetwork video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the upgrade video. Have a wonderful whatever. Hey guys, it's TechNetwood here. Make sure you guys subscribe and like and hit that bell. Thanks.